Good morning, community. Let's breathe together, shall we? Exhale first, let it out. Deep breath in. Let it go. Another deep breath. Let go. One more deep breath in. It's good to just breathe together, isn't it? We begin this way every week because for me, it's that communal breath that reminds me that there's something greater that is breathing all of us, right? And for me, that is the one truth that I want to continuously return to, is the oneness, is the absolute truth. Beyond all the conditions, beyond all the struggles, beyond all the circumstances, beyond all the things that are happening in the world that are continuously trying to convince me of something else, I have to bring myself back, right? And so the breath, we start there every week. That's why we come back here over and over and over again, right? Because this whole reality thing is very convincing. And we have to come back to a higher truth. Right? And this month, our conversation is Unstatus quo, right? Which is all about going a different way, which is about breaking the mold, right? And I want to give gratitude to Sky for this thought you brought into the prayer this morning, which was, what is the context in which I want to live? The context I want to expand into, right? Because the status quo is the current context, what we're experiencing, right? But then there's something beyond that. There's something more. And this whole oneness game we're playing is getting, I think we've advanced to a high level of the game. It's like level 20 or something like that. Because it's getting harder, right? It's not easy. And, the status quo that many of us grew up in said, don't ruffle feathers. Don't say those things that are uncomfortable. Don't point out those injustices because you might upset somebody. And now all that stuff just keeps coming up more and more and more. And as I continuously seek to deepen myself, and I know many of us here in the same place, as I continue to seek to deepen into that higher truth, into that oneness, into that belief that we are one global family, into that belief that there's only one of us here. And then there's this reflection that keeps coming back that says, oh yeah, but. Right? That if I say here that I believe that the people of Gaza have a right to exist, I often get a reflection back at me that says you're against Israel. But if I say I believe that the people of Israel have a right to exist, then suddenly the reflection comes back that I have said that the people of Gaza do not. That is not a truth. That is a lie. Right? That is a lie that we cannot coexist. That there is a lie that is being perpetuated, that we have to choose a side, and that we cannot hold a higher truth that there's only one of us here, that love is the answer, and that we are here in mutual interdependence of each other. No matter what country we live in, no matter what we believe, no matter who we're going to vote for, no matter what side of what border we live on, we are all one people. And that is becoming a touchy subject, right? It's becoming harder and harder and harder, I think, in a lot of ways, to hold this oneness, to hold this high, holy truth that we are all in this together. And I've been so grateful for this 100 days of election intention. How many of you have been participating and receiving these calls each day? Right? You get a 3-minute little spiritual practice or message each day, but it's been so powerful. One, to wake up every day and get a reminder to look to the oneness, to look to the higher truth, to look to be courageous, to look to wake up, to look for God. And then as all the issues of the world come filtering in after that, there's this little voice in my head that says, yeah, but remember. right? That's the point of our spiritual practice. That's the point of coming here. That's the point of our meditation, of our prayer, of all the spiritual study, is so that we continuously remember to remember, because it's so darn easy to forget. So we have to continuously remember to remember our oneness. And it's a practice. We have to be in the practice. Right? We've been bringing a lot of affirmations and things into our service. We now have this affirmation for our nation's leaders we've been reading each week that we're here together, right? Because what we're seeking to do is plant a story in each one of our minds of the world that we actually want to see, of the call that we are speaking to the world, saying, this is the kind of world I want to live in. These are the kind of leaders we have to call forward. This is what oneness could look like. Right? And I know that when we read our global vision or our prayer for our nation from Ernest Holmes, and I see some of your eyes roll back in your head, oh yeah, world works for everybody. Oh yes, all of our leaders are filled with wisdom and divine intelligence. Huh. But here's the thing. If you roll your eyes to the dream, how are you holding it? Because what we're seeking to do is look for a higher story, to seek a higher principle, to court a higher outcome. And the thing that I know about spiritual truth, the thing that I know about the power of this oneness that we are working with, is that the power of truth will shake away any falsehood. That when we can claim wholeness and health in the face of sickness, when we can claim oneness in the face of division, when we can claim abundance in the face of poverty, we become the place where that truth can then reveal itself. I had this image in my mind the other day of imagine that each one of us have these patterns that we've been gifted for the perfect world that could be. And then all of these layers of life and dust and crusty stuff start to build up on those patterns. And they don't look so perfect, right? What it needs, when those things have calcified, when those false truths have appeared to become so real, we have to hold a higher vibration that is strong enough to shake off all that stuff to allow the true pattern to re-emerge. Can you see that? That when we stand for love in the face of hate, the hate will dissipate. What if love is the most powerful weapon in the world? When you transform your enemy into your beloved, there is no longer an enemy. Whoever it is that you think is the bad guy out there, what would it look like to contemplate that they too are God? Right? I'll tell you, I had someone in one of my synthesis classes a couple years ago, and in synthesis, everyone's invited to choose a project. What's the one thing that you're going to focus on? And there was someone in the class, and they said, my project is to cultivate compassion for Donald Trump. And I watched over 2 years of courting this project, of choosing this person's face, for whatever reason they chose that person, choosing this person's face to say, I'm going to pray to be compassionate to this individual. What I saw is over 2 years of that practice, that person fell in love with themselves. They felt that deep compassion that they needed to feel. Because when we stop othering, the reflection that starts to come back to us is a greater truth about who we are. And so regardless of the story we tell about any of these people we might be using for our spiritual practice to help us wake up, there's an opportunity there for us to look for something more. Because the only person we're ever praying for is ourselves. Any prayer we pray for anyone else, anything we pray for the world is actually about something we are seeking to awaken from within ourselves. And if we can look for the compassion, if we can look for the oneness, if we can choose the picture of the face of the person that we think is the most wrong person on the planet and find compassion for them, look for God within them, imagine what you might find inside of yourself as you start to make friends with the dark parts of you, with the parts of you that perhaps you've separated from or shamed or hidden away. This is how we wake up. We wake up into oneness by looking for it. I saw a beautiful little Instagram story the other day where someone was, having a conversation with the universe. And they're like, I think I sent this to Leah. Dear universe, I want to be patient. I want to learn to be patient. And the universe goes, great, I'm going to send you all sorts of irritating people to make you practice patience. Right? And so then the person says, okay, well, what I really want is wisdom. So the universe says, great, I'm going to give you all sorts of problems that you can learn from. You will become much wiser. That's the way it works. Right? We don't grow by the universe just giving us our comfort and our joy and saying, grow on. I mean, maybe it does. It might work that way sometimes. But at least the code that seems to be at work in the world right now is you're going to be given the thing you need to grow towards what you want to become. You will get what you need, not necessarily what you want, but you'll get what you need in order to grow. And I really believe that each one of us comes to this world to grow, to learn how to love. What if the one assignment we all have here is to learn how to love more? When I take that framework and I look back out at the world, I see a whole lot of opportunities to grow in love, to practice speaking with love and from a place of compassion, speaking from love to things that aren't working, speaking from love about the things that are hard, about the pain that we're experiencing, and being in that love and compassion with each other. Because what the world needs now more than just about anything, I think, are people who are willing to accept this invitation to love more, to love through, to love anyways, to love in spite of, to love because of. What if all of this that seems to be so wrong and so painful that's unfolding in the world, what if all of it is inviting us to step up, to learn how to love more, to look for God, and to remember that there's something more at work here? What if we actually are on the cusp of an evolution? What if we actually are beginning to wake up? What if what we are seeing in the world are the symptoms of our awakening? And all of this is an invitation into the more. Whatever is coming your way, what if it is for you? Whatever you are experiencing, whatever you are struggling through, whatever you are finding is painful and difficult to process right now, what if it is for you, for your growth? Careful what you ask the universe for, folks. If you want to be love and wisdom and joy and compassion and forgiveness and all that, the pathway there may not be easy. But I guarantee you, if that is your true prayer to grow and to become whatever quality you are seeking, the universe will give you every opportunity to become it. And maybe there's some power in knowing that. Maybe there's something to this opportunity to look to a higher truth, to feel ourselves being called up, becoming more than we've ever been before. So take a deep breath in. And let's just breathe ever deeper into this moment of now. Remembering first and foremost that the universe itself is one seamless thing. That all of life all of existence, all that ever has been, all that ever will be, is contained in this one thing that I call God. But more than a word, it is the truth of us, that we are truly, all of us, intimately and intricately connected, not only to each other, but to that divine mind that is growing all things, being all things, evolving in and through all things. And let us realize that each one of us, we are the ways that the universe is expanding. It is expanding in us, and through us as we grow, as we evolve. Consciousness, the universe, life, possibility expands. So let this expansion call us into the more of us. Let each one of us right here and right now feel into our heart space. And think to yourself right now, what is that deep prayer of mine? What is my calling? What is the one quality that I seek to live into? Is it love? Is it forgiveness? Is it joy? Is it harmony? Is it beauty? Is it creativity? Is it just oneness? What if you are a living prayer? What if your life is the answer to a prayer? What if each one of us came here to be the revealing of these truths? What if each one of us came here to bring about a new story? What if each one of us came here to expand the story of what it means to learn to love more? To stop holding the duality, to stop holding the separation, to stop telling the old story, and step into the new. The more of us, the possible. So let's breathe, remembering that we are being breathed. We are being lived by the universe. The one life flowing through each one of us is all of us. There's only one of us here. Let's never forget it. And remember to remember when we do. Deep breath in and let go. Deep breath. Let go. One more deep breath in. And let's accept and anchor these words by saying, and so it is.